Hey, Rach.
Yes?
Look at those shoes.
Dogs out at LAX.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Yep, hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Imagine a world where a movie with a star-studded cast and a massive budget crashes so hard, it's dethroned by a game made of blocks. That's exactly what happened with Snow White and Rachel Zegler. A film that was supposed to reimagine a Disney classic failed so spectacularly, it's now a punchline. And in the end, it's a game. Yes, Minecraft, that's shining brighter than anything Disney has put out recently. But what happened in between? Stick around, because this story is a roller coaster ride you won't want to miss. Rachel Zegler's journey is a classic tale of soaring to stardom only to be pulled back down in spectacular fashion.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends.
From her breakout role in West Side Story to the ambitious reboot of Snow White, Zegler had everything going for her. But as Disney's most expensive new project crashed and burned, so did her once promising career. The shocking contrast with Minecraft's surprise box office triumph is a story that raises some serious questions about where Hollywood and Disney are heading. Rachel Zegler was on top of the world just a few years ago. Her breakout performance in West Side Story made waves in Hollywood. Critics praised her acting chops, and audiences couldn't get enough of her. It wasn't just her talent on screen. Zegler brought something fresh, a vibrant energy that many believed would make her a household name. Disney, ever the talent scout, quickly saw an opportunity. They had been looking to revive their classic animated films, and what better way to do it than with a star on the rise?
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Zegler's casting as the lead in the live-action remake of Snow White seemed like a dream come true. Here was an actress with fresh appeal, and Disney had already given us big successes like The Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. They were hoping for a similar, if not bigger, success. But Zegler wasn't just playing a passive, helpless princess. Disney's approach to Snow White was more modern and progressive, with Zegler herself emphasizing that her Snow White would not need a prince to be happy. This fresh, independent take on the character drew both praise and criticism, but Disney clearly saw it as a way to appeal to modern audiences who might have grown tired of the old, outdated tropes. Zegler's portrayal was meant to be a feminist statement, a Snow White who could save herself. Yet, this new interpretation didn't resonate with everyone. While some celebrated the move, others felt that Disney was straying too far from the magic of the original. And that's where things began to take a turn. It didn't take long for Zegler to stir up trouble.
You ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
During interviews, she didn't hold back, speaking openly about her interpretation of Snow White and the original 1937 animated film. Zegler criticized the outdated messages in the classic movie, specifically pointing out how Snow White's passivity was a poor message for young audiences. While this progressive take was part of a broader cultural shift, it didn't sit well with many die-hard fans of the original. Her comments about the prince character were perhaps the most controversial. In the classic Snow White film, the prince is the one who saves Snow White with a kiss, making him a central figure in the story. Zegler suggested that her version of Snow White wouldn't need such a character, sounding like the prince would be irrelevant in the new version. This didn't sit well with traditional Disney fans who loved the old-school romance and saw the prince as a key part of Snow White's story.
I think it's fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged. I truly do believe that.
It was seen as an attempt to dismantle the fairy tale that had been beloved. Disney found itself in a difficult position. On one hand, they had a star they were banking on, and her comments were seen as progressive by some, if a bit too radical for others. But behind the scenes, Disney execs were undoubtedly feeling the pressure. The movie's marketing had already begun, and the world was watching. Fans were starting to question whether Disney was truly staying true to its roots or using the movie as a platform for social commentary. Internal discussions no doubt centered around how to handle the growing dissent, but the damage was already starting to show. The movie's release was supposed to be a grand event. With a massive budget, a star-studded cast, and all the Disney magic behind it, Snow White had all the ingredients for success. But then reality set in, and the numbers told a grim story. When Snow White hit theaters, expectations were high. Disney hoped for a smash hit that would rival the likes of The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, both of which had been remade to great success. Instead, the movie sputtered at the box office. Despite millions poured into marketing, the audience response was lukewarm at best, and many fans simply stayed away. In a stunning turn of events, the movie was even overshadowed by a film no one expected to succeed.
They're remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs, okay?
Okay, but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
Minecraft. Yes, Minecraft, a movie based on a game made of blocks, not even remotely close to the prestige or magic of a Disney classic. Yet Minecraft had managed to capture the hearts of fans and raked in more money in its opening weekend than Snow White did in its entire theatrical run. How could this happen? The problem wasn't just the movie, it was a failure to understand the audience. Snow White's attempt to modernize a beloved character seemed to alienate the very fans who had grown up with the original. Disney seemed out of touch with what people actually wanted. Instead of staying true to the heart of the fairy tale, they seemed to be pushing an agenda. In contrast, Minecraft was built on fan loyalty. It didn't try to reinvent the wheel, it gave fans what they wanted: adventure, creativity, and the world of Minecraft.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image.
Fans didn't feel like they were being talked down to. They felt like they were part of something they had loved for years. After the movie's disastrous performance, Rachel Zegler seemed to vanish from the public eye. It was as if she disappeared overnight. No new interviews, no social media updates, no major appearances. The star who had once been the face of Disney's next big thing was now nowhere to be found. Fans and the media were left to wonder, was she taking a break, or was there something more going on behind the scenes? One popular theory was that Zegler had flown to Dubai shortly after the film flopped. Why Dubai? Some speculated that she was simply trying to escape the intense scrutiny and backlash she faced. Others believe it was an attempt to reset her career away from the negativity surrounding Snow White.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Could this have been a personal retreat? Or was she quietly trying to avoid a firestorm she couldn't control? Disney insiders remained tight-lipped, but rumors circulated about the internal struggles at the company. Were they trying to manage her PR, or was there a larger rift between Zegler and the studio? Some speculated that the damage was too much for her to recover from, at least in the public eye. Eventually, Zegler issued an apology. But it was nothing like what fans hoped for. The apology felt scripted, sterile, and corporate. There was no real sense of emotion or genuine remorse behind it, just a quick attempt to clean up the mess. Fans immediately called it out for being disingenuous. Instead of feeling like an apology from a young star who had made mistakes, it came across as another piece of PR fluff. Many felt that Zegler's public persona had been molded and controlled by Disney, and this apology was no different. In fact, it only made things worse for her. The corporate-sounding apology lacked any real heart, and it left many fans unsatisfied. It was too little to the runaway success of Minecraft. The game's movie didn't require an apology. It didn't have to make lofty promises. Instead, it simply gave fans what they loved, and they responded by showing up in droves. While Snow White's PR was spinning out of control, Minecraft's honest approach led to a victory no one saw coming. The real kicker came when Minecraft, of all things, dethroned Snow White.
This is someone who is as entitled as, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film.
With a basic concept, a movie based on a video game made of blocks, Minecraft turned out to be a juggernaut, pulling in more box office revenue in a single weekend than Snow White managed in its entire run. Why? Because Minecraft stayed true to its fan base. In trying to cater to every political and social trend, Snow White lost sight of what made the original so magical in the first place. It wasn't just about the progressive themes, it was about the connection to the characters, the timeless fairy tale that resonated with generations of viewers. Minecraft, on the other hand, didn't try to reinvent itself. It embraced its fan base, stayed true to the spirit of the game, and fans rewarded it. Rachel Zegler's silence speaks volumes. Did she cause Disney's worst flop ever, or was she just the scapegoat for a bigger issue? Can she recover, or has her Hollywood dream crashed and burned? And will Disney learn from its mistakes, or will they continue to falter as they try to chase the latest trends? What do you think? Did Rachel Zegler destroy Snow White? Or was it all about Disney failing to adapt to modern tastes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's hear what you think, because the drama is far from over.